Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Stronger agronomics, better returns, greater peace of mind from pre-seed to post-harvest. You can count on the Victory Canola program to keep you and your farm ahead of the curve. Grow with us at victorycanola.com.
Here's another look at that beautiful rock from Kyla. Setting things up really nicely. They're close to the win with that one. Now in the last end of the game, Team Clybrink has a draw to the button for the win.
What are you doing?
Hold on, the guys at Input, I just made a call. They made me way more cash than you guys ever will. If you want to destroy the sports books, come join the #1 sports investing community on the planet at InPlayLive.com.
Well, welcome everybody to the final of the Saville Shootout. We got a great match ahead of us today, featuring Brendan Bottcher versus Catlin Schneider. Schneider beat Mike McEwen in the semifinals to make it to this final, and Bottcher beat Johnson Teo to make it to this final. My name is Matt Hames, and I'm going to take you through this game as we go. So welcome everybody. Looks like we have a few people watching, a few hundred people watching so far. Ice looks great. And we're starting off with, a pretty open, relaxed game. These guys don't want to necessarily mix it up in the first end. Try to keep things open. Try to keep things a little bit relaxed. Tight guards, get in the rings right away. Looking at just a quiet weight, nose hit here. Maybe a hair of an inside roll. But the goal here is to just make this rock go away and keep your shooter in play.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Perfect. Decided to hop on for the game here.
Yeah. That was a great little hit and roll inside, and so you'll see Bottcher try to just run this guard back. Didn't quite get out of the rings. Want to probably go T-line here. The next shot is the run back of the red. So you probably just want to create as much space as you possibly can. If you're a club curler, you might still consider just trying to go top 8 foot, top 12 foot. You go top 8 foot against these guys and you just make the run back a little bit easier. So you want to try to just create as much separation as you possibly can here.
That's pretty good.
That's a good spot.
Does leave maybe a double there though, yeah?
It's pretty flat. You might give it a whirl just to try to hit and roll on top of it, more so than an actual double.
Are you playing the same kind of weight and line regardless though? Or do you have to commit to a shot there?
They're still playing pretty up weight to try to, you can see they're kind of taking negative ice here. Basically hit it where you can see it and throw it pretty hard and get this roll.
Just a hair thick, and
yeah,
that's rolling inside, but not as much as they wanted.
No, not as much as they wanted. If you nose this, which he called, he's calling just a nose hit. It makes the angle a little steeper on the double. Makes it a less than a quarter of a rock double, which does bring miss into play. This is going to be just, again, goal here is to nose. Try not to roll outside.
Yeah, that's well done.
Perfect shot. If you roll outside a bit, it turns it into a much easier double. This is a pretty steep double, which is why they're switching from thinking about the double to running the red in.
Oh, interesting.
So you think about a half a rock peel, and now instead it just hit that other rock and it opens up the back rock, and then you've got a couple more shots to make doubles.
Oof.
Good result.
Yeah.
You're back to, again, if you're playing just your Tuesday night men's league, you're throwing a guard here all day long. But with these guys, if you throw a guard, you could lose the chance to force here. Should be sure I say that before I really. This just create some separation on these rocks and make it really hard to get rid of two of them.
Sure.
Like it's got some pace.
Yeah. And they'll just squirt it out the back.
Definitely the separation, but not the separation they were looking for.
No. Pretty far back in the corner now by the backboard, so. But this is just first end, so, first end blank, nothing crazy there.
Yeah, just a very simple, a very casual land. Get your feet a little bit wet. Just try not to lose it in the first end. I think you'll see them go a little bit harder in the second end. Gonna have a fast end. Put the broom down right away. Get down the other end, throw a nice normal weight hit.
Yep. Nice to warm up, in a sense, I guess. Yeah. So what else? So we've got the women's final going on at the same time, don't we? Right? Home and
Yeah,
Jones.
the women's final is in the third end.
Oh,
Started
okay.
Earlier. I
Gotcha.
think in the third end. It's on YouTube as well.
Nice.
So you can take a look. It's like 2-1.
Yeah, nice to have multiple options to watch. But I mean, not just the finals, but I mean, we've had, games going pretty much most of the weekend. So, no, it's been a long weekend for the Curling Zone Curling Stadium crew.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a long day for these guys too. This is our third game today.
Oh yeah. Oh really? Did they have a tiebreaker, or was it just the quarters, semis, and
yeah. Yeah, so they played this morning at 8:30, then 12, and now 3:30. So, it's Monday though. Whenever you're playing Monday to cash bill, it means that you're getting paid.
Oh, so I've never played in a cash bill before, so I guess is that very common? That Monday's the final for that?
Yep. Yeah, the Monday is usually the final. So a lot of these will start on a Friday, and if you don't make it into the money, there's a chance you can go to work on Monday.
Oh, huh.
And if you make it into the money, then you're taking Monday off.
Nice.
And when you book your flights, we can talk about this we got to go to commercial.
Stronger agronomics, better returns, greater peace of mind. From pre-seed to post-harvest, you can count on the Victory Canola program to keep you and your farm ahead of the curve. Grow with us at victorycanola.com.
Here's another look at that beautiful rock from Kyla. Setting things up really nicely. They're close to the win with that one. Now in the last end of the game, Team Clybrink has a draw to the button for the win.
What are you doing?
Hold on, the guys that didn't play, I just made a call. They paid me way more cash than you guys ever will. If you want to destroy the sports books, come join the #1 sports investing community on the planet at inplaylive.com.
Sometimes curling just isn't as fun as it can be on the Nintendo Switch. With up to 4 players per console, you can enjoy curling with your friends and family anywhere, anytime. Let's play curling. Available now only on Nintendo Switch.
Go on a bit slow, so.
Yeah. All right, guys, we are back. My name's Margot, joining commentary by Matt Hames, and we've got we drew the men's final game between Team Bottcher and Team Catlin Schneider, so it should be a good one here. Simple blank in the first, but starting to get rocks in play in the second end already.
Yeah, they were just kind of feeling out the ice in the first end. There was a chance maybe out of force, but you do practice ice, and then they come out here and they just do a little brush of the ice, and you're not sure what it's going to be like. early in the game, but these guys will get locked in.
Yeah. For this game, are we looking at oh gosh, what was I gonna say? 8 ends or we do 10 ends for this final?
8 ends.
8 ends.
Whole Bonspiel's 8 ends.
Gotcha. You were saying cash spiels, booking flights there, right?
Oh, right. So yeah, when you're booking a flight to something like this,
Yeah.
you still book your flights thinking you're going to win, right? So you're going out Monday night at 8 o'clock or something like that.
Sure.
And then if you don't make it to Monday, you frantically go and you change your flights. I used to curl with this one guy who was like the greatest sales guy ever. And when we would change our flights, he would sometimes not only get us our flights changed, you get booked or bumped up to first class.
Oh, nice.
Incredible talker.
That's interesting. I always see on Twitter, right, or X now, I guess, that some of the guys will try to get upgrades for some of the U.S. national teams and whatnot, and I think it's kind of hit and miss on if they get upgrades or not.
Yeah. It's a good shot coming around everything here. Again, it just chokes off that button and makes it either you're gonna kind of like run this and try to get out of this end, or you're gonna. Bottcher's first instinct was to freeze to it. It looks like his team wants to talk him out a little bit and maybe clear some rocks. But
I mean, I feel like it's accessible from this intern side, but I mean, it's a little tricky though, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. The thing about it, right, is that if you make the shot perfectly, and then they might be thinking, okay, I'm okay with giving up a force of 1.
Yeah.
So they start. So you might be hitting on your next shot anyway. Depends on how good this is. You expect it to be close.
Oh yeah. We'll see what Brett's got for us.
Over curled just a bit.
Not in a bad spot because I'll
not a
run
bad
it
spot
back, but I think this shot will kind of take away some of those options from that rock here.
Yeah, so you're just trying to corner freeze on the inside, about 3/4 on it.
Yeah.
To just try to almost guard as much of it as you possibly can. Little tap isn't the worst thing in the world here, depending upon your line. Not the greatest spot. Not the greatest spot that they wanted. Kind of jacked up for a sort of an automatic, and if you hit this yellow one on the nose, you're probably going to lose the back yellow, and you're going to lose the yellow they just threw.
Yeah, it's hard to. I mean, it's possible for sure to make this bad, but if you get it anywhere on the high side, it's pretty good for you. Yeah.
Yeah, this is pretty tough to miss. You got to hit half a rock on the inside probably to miss this.
Yeah.
So.
And it does get to the inside, but still manages to make contact here.
Well, we're starting to get to the there's A lot of red rocks in the rings, and red has hammer.
Yeah.
So you start to feel the nerves at about this point in an end when you think, wow, that's a lot of red rocks in there.
Yeah.
Are we gonna take one of these out, or are we gonna just try to draw in again?
Yeah, we'll see what the call is. I mean, I think it's the decision to freeze. I mean, I'd be tempted to hit and roll.
Yeah, it's you'll always learn that it's much easier to draw a rock to a spot than hit and roll a rock to a spot.
True. Yeah.
But that said, hitting and rolling, the only hit and roll you have is on fourth shot, and third shot is pretty protected, so you don't actually make it any better. It just feels better, but you don't actually make the situation any better.
True.
If you can make this draw, freeze it, you're first, they're second, third, and fourth. So you don't really change anything hitting that wide open one. That's a great shot right there.
Yeah.
That's a really great result. And they're just going to blast this out, still knowing that they're sitting one buried.
Now, yeah, ideally, you have to throw this with weight, right, to make sure
Yeah.
you're spilling
Oh, yeah.
everything. But is there any way we can keep the shooter here?
No, you're trying to hit it pretty much as thin as you possibly can. So like half a rock probably makes it, but a quarter rock is what he's going for, and just shoot it out the side. Always know you're going to lose your shooter. They're going to play this double. They're not trying to necessarily make the double. What they're trying to do is just big weight, roll straight sideways, and shoot the rock that's buried out into the open and sit buried behind that pile. Might not even be shot rock after this rock, but you might be in a much better situation. No, it doesn't look like it's going to curl. I think they're just talking about now. They're just talking about what are they going to play? What shots do they have to get rid of this rock? I think the shot here is this outturn. It's a wide outturn, sit two. Don't necessarily be great to sit two, just bite the forefoot. Past that other rock. You don't want to come deep here. I'm probably just talking about the weight right now because they're going a little farther out. This is a shot where, you want to make it, but you also don't want to make it easier for the other team to get out of this end by coming a little bit deep. The perfect ideal situation is just biting just past their rock. Not quite on the tee line. Well, it's a guess right there, but leaves it out. This is, if you can get right down on top of it, you're good.
Yeah.
Looks like they're looking at the possibility of a triple here.
I mean, triple's always there. That's what I say, but I'd be very I think this
playing
would,
the triple. There you
yeah.
go.
I mean, I think this would be another situation where my team would talk me out of this shot, especially if we messed around and somehow got to one of these finals or like this kind of final,
Yeah, I would be licking my lips to just follow that out turn, draw down, and sit right on top of it and look at the possibility of a steal.
Yeah, I mean,
this this is obviously he feels like this is a makeable shot. You're gonna get all 4 rocks moving, so this is gonna be moving.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like, yeah.
He might be also thinking he's always got the freeze on his last one if he misses it, but he might not have another shot.
Sure. Sure.
Don't think that's what he was hoping for. Just a little too far on the outside.
Yeah.
So we're back to this situation, right? If you don't throw a rock, he's probably either picking one of these out or rolling or running the yellow back. So what you want to try to do is put your rock in a spot that is possibly third shot, but away from that mess as much as possible.
Yeah. So even if they make a double, right, you're essentially securing a deuce here.
Yeah. So the other option is to get really super aggressive and try to put it top button, half buried. Because actually the problem is there's not a great spot to put it.
Mm-hmm.
Where his broom is right now, like just on the bottom edge of the 4-foot on the right-hand side of the sheet from the overhead, that would be an ideal situation. Even with the run that's back 4.
Yeah.
Just dead even with that, right? That would be an ideal situation. They would probably take a run at hitting what they can see of the top red and trying to slash double out your rock.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to get at worst case scenario, if he makes that, you get a deuce, which is big, right? So the other option here is to try to really come around. The danger with coming around is if you go on the button, they freeze on you and now you're out of the end.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you're coming around, right, you're going around like back 8, sitting third.
Yeah, but so if you're going back, the problem is if you go back 8 and you're not quite there, like if you're just biting the back button, then he freezes to you, and now all of a sudden you're out of you might be out of the end, right? So it looks like they're contemplating trying to go even with that back red.
Yeah.
And they're playing this in turn. So they're playing this wide in turn to draw even with the back red. Now, again, if you're a club curler, right, you just kind of, you put this in and by all means, you let them have it.
You let them take a 50-50 at it. Yeah.
Yeah. You try to, you come right beside your own yellow right here and just sit shot and you by all means, right. You don't have to, in club curling, you don't have to be concerned as much as what you leave.
Mm-hmm.
You still have to think about it, but these guys are thinking like, I need to put this rock in a spot where if he tries a double, I still get 2, and it doesn't impact me. Like if you could walk it down, it's like that. It's that back 4-foot, maybe a rock farther than the one on the back left. You're certainly going to have a lot of conversations.
Sure. Now, if you're Bottcher, do you ever have to, I mean, again, if Schneider's throwing here, do they ever take a shot at this run here, this yellow onto yellow?
Yeah. So they might, they
guarding?
could take a run at that yellow. They're putting this rock in a situation where like the yellow, red, the back red one might jam. And then like there's a lot of bad that can happen. So, but that's a possibility of what they're going to try again, it depends on where this goes. I think if this goes in the spot that Bottcher's trying to throw it, you might see Schneider try to hit what he can see of the top red rock into this rock and double the net.
Oh, double the other the new one. Okay.
Yeah.
So
that again still leaves a draw for 2 though, right? So one of the big risks, like if you're in club curling, one of the big risks here is trying this in-turn draw and leaving a guard, leaving it short.
Hanging a bit.
This one is hanging and it's flying.
Heavy.
Yeah.
Oh, end up. Is that? Can't tell on the video feed. Yep, it's
out.
It's out. Wow.
No harm, no foul, right? You just didn't want to harm it. But if you're looking at this and you're a club player and you're thinking, why doesn't he play the intern just like top 12-ish or something? The danger of an intern top 12 is that you actually leave them a guard and then they come around your rock and go top button.
Yeah.
And now you go from almost a guaranteed score to risking giving up a steal, right? So that's why Bottcher was thinking about trying to get that rock out of the way. He still has a solid chance for a deuce. And it looks like all they're doing is picking out this back one and giving him a draw for 2.
Yeah.
So like you're in it good. You were always, as Bottcher's team was always in a good situation. And what they were really guarding against is making it worse themselves by putting a rock in a bad spot.
Man, I just feel like, yeah, a club level me is definitely trying to freeze there.
Yeah.
But right. I'm giving up 3 there, I guess.
Yeah, club level you tries to freeze there and you tick the top red and it's always, 3 is way worse than 2 to start a game. So 2 you can live with.
Yeah.
This is no gimme for club level anybody, right? So
picks out the top one here. Does have to work. That's biting.
I don't think it matters. I think you still see him throw an intern draw.
Still draw?
Yeah.
You don't think he can pick out that yellow? Mark Kennedy's looking at that.
I think he could definitely hit the yellow, whether or not he stays, because you got to throw a pretty quiet weight. And then it's risk reward, right, Mark? So
sure.
Risk is we only get 1. The reward is we get 3. But right now he just has to, it's a draw the button contest for his deuce. And he just I know he just whistled the last one through the rings, but he was being very cautious when he threw it.
Yeah.
And
the tolerance is heavy. You want it gone. Yeah.
He doesn't have to take as much ice. So most times you'll take your guaranteed deuce before you try a higher risk shot for 3.
Yeah. This one's coming in just fine. Puts it right on the tee line. So Team Bottcher will get the first deuce of the game. They'll have a 2-0 lead over Team Schneider, which will have hammer in the third end just after this break.
This is where the focus comes into play. Look at that. Canada, say hello to your new champions.
Proudly pulling for this generation of Canadians and the next for over 40 years at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
Hey, so dude, I'm just building out my parlay for Sunday. I'm all over the Bucks. And then we got the Panthers, the Bills, and the 49ers, all locks. But it only pays plus 229. So I'm thinking I might need to beef up that number just a little bit.
Why?
Hold on, the Rams are playing on Sunday Night Football. No chance they're losing.
Oh my god, dude, you said the same thing last week and you keep losing. Don't be this clown betting on NFL parlays this season. The way the Sunday schedule is set up is that you make a parlay for the early games, you miss, and you start chasing in the afternoon games, and then the night game hits and you unload your bankroll trying to play catch up. If you're interested in making smarter decisions on the NFL this season, I'm putting on some free training right now where I give away my top 5 secrets on how to profit on live sports investing.
The Roaring Game. We all love it, but sometimes curling just isn't as fun as it can be on the Nintendo Switch. Don't get stuck in your curling club this year. Learn the game inside and out. Play for your favorite country and take the curling world by storm. With up to 4 players per console, you can enjoy curling with your friends and family anywhere, anytime. Let's play curling. Available now only on Nintendo Switch.
Everything's a bit of a haul. All right, guys, we are back. Third end action of the championship final for the Saville Shootout. My name is Margo, joined by Matt Hames. We got a good one here. A lot of rocks in play, a lot of interesting angles this last end, and we'll see how this end shakes up with Schneider looking to get back on the board here.
We were taking a look a little bit at their head-to-head, and they played in this Bonspiel already. And Bottcher won 7-4. And then previous to that, they played in the Western Canadian University Championships in 2014. So you can imagine that they've both changed quite a bit since 2014.
Yeah, and that's some deep cuts on the knowledge base. But you got that one from Curling Zone, I assume?
I got that one from Curling Zone.
How does Curling Zone have this stuff? Like, that's just like, I mean, it's like, it's to the point we take it for granted, but like, if you think about it, having a stat from curling in 2013 is just like, that's pretty nuts to me.
Well, it's always interesting, right? Because first of all, it's just skip head to head. So, Catlin Schneider's played not skip and played Bottcher. So this is a skip head to head. And then, so it's just like, give me a skip versus a skip. How far back do we have stats for? So it really comes down to that. But it's great. It's a cool feature of Curling Zone to see head to head.
Oh, for sure.
There's so many awesome stats in Curling Zone. Like, as we get more into curling this year, it's like your homepage.
Yeah.
Some normal humans have Google as their homepage, and then curling humans have Curling Zone as their homepage.
I've definitely had it up a lot over this weekend, not just for the commentary, but just kind of seeing all the scores and seeing all the events going on. Because, I mean, we've had this event, there was Stu Cells, there's the U.S. Olympic Games, and I think there was another event, like MCT, I think. Is that like maybe a tier 2 event? Or I don't know how the tiers work exactly.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
That's a really nice shot there. Quiet, wait, get to the inside and enough to kill a rock and dead bear behind the guard there.
You really would like to hold the shooter if you can here to just start to generate some offense. No, you'd also like to make the run back.
Sure.
That is not what you want to do.
Oof.
That's just unlucky. Like,
unlucky break,
so much. That's a millimeter high and does better. It's, you try to throw that and you can't do it. But it's your rock. It's early. Half an end to go. It's not dire, but it's not awesome.
No.
Bottcher again is thinking here, like you're probably thinking that they're going to play the exact same shot, right? So you don't want to come right to your own here. You want to kind of stagger these as much as you possibly can.
Mhm.
It's top 12-ish. It doesn't even have to be fully buried at this point.
Yeah. Could you make a case to go and just like back ring somewhere? Just get some separation and try to get a force going here.
Probably not. Like you're going to get this separation anyway, and if you can get this top 12, I don't think they'll consider playing the out turn around at all. Based on the way he's been playing this game, it looks like they would contemplate a hit before they would consider that. You never know.
No, I meant just like a run double here, or I guess.
Yeah, he's going to try a run double, but he could contemplate just drawing around this whole thing. But he's going to walk up. Bottcher's, they know he's just going to walk up and hit this. So
yeah,
they put that rock as far away from the other one as possible. These are precise shots, but it's a really nice result.
Shot. Yeah.
Rolled for a second corner.
So I guess the question is: you just rip it, or you draw behind it, or draw open?
I suspect at this point in the end, he's just gonna he would rip it. I think they're just looking to see whether or not anything jams. It doesn't. It probably does not.
No.
But that back one isn't going to go as far to the board as you think it is. It's going to go almost straight back. I think they were also looking to see if he could freeze on it. So we're just going to go to the next end. Both teams throw it on the button, get some draw weight practice, and then Bottcher will try to nose it. And we'll exchange some hits here and there. You could think about going a little over in front of that rock,
in front of the red one. Yeah.
Then it won't be on the rings, but then it'll be freezable.
Yep.
Like they could also hit it and roll a little bit to the right and make it freezable. Like there's some options there. I think if you're playing club, you might do that. These guys don't miss a heck of a lot, so that kind of thing at this point, you're just like, okay, we're going to the next end. Let's go. At the speed that they're playing, they might catch up to the girls.
That'd be interesting. Better than the other game we had, yeah.
Yeah.
And in fairness, that was a really awesome. I say that, but
it was an awesome game.
It was a lot of fun.
A 2 hour and 50-minute 10-end game or 8-end game. It's worth watching. So when I say club curler, I definitely am not talking about somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. We're just talking about your Wednesday night men's league or your Tuesday night men's league. We definitely play a different game than these guys play. A few more misses, a few more tolerant shots.
Yeah. Well, even here for me, particularly, I'm an arena-based club curler, right? Like,
yeah,
we never ever blank, ever.
Yeah, right.
you're gonna get your one. But I mean, sometimes that's just arena curling, right? Sure.
Yeah.
It's slightly different game in just terms of strategy, right?
Right.
It's just first one in the rings, or you're playing a really heavy tap game, right? Just tight guards tapping them in.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit different here, given that the routine taps here, or for arena curlers versus routine runbacks here.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't exactly perfect, but there we go. That's the third end. So I'll throw it to commercial. We'll be right back after these commercial breaks.
The reason we trust Western Sales with our business is the people. I'm sure that there's 100 years experience coming out of that shop. We trust them because we do a CMI on our combine and on our tractor. When our equipment comes out of Western Sales, it's going to be good, because if it's not, they send us another combine, they send us another tractor. And we're not naive to the fact that that probably costs them a lot of money. So we just know that the service that we're getting at Western Sales is above par to everybody else.
I've been raised on the farm since day one, so I was born into it. My grandfather came in here in 1905. I want to continue the farm for him and generations to come. So
I think it's a privilege that we get to be here. It's just a wonderful way of life.
What job is there that you can go to work with your dad and brother, with your kids by your side? Doesn't get much better than that.
Do you ever miss your parlays by just one pick? How about losing your over-unders or your spreads by only a point? Well, if you're ready to ditch the gambling and go legit, it's time to join In Play Live. We're the world's #1 live sports investing platform, all built around our live video streaming. So you can wager in real time with our 7-figure professionals and take what they're taking when they're taking it. Now, the platform also includes our masterclass suite of videos that include both the strategies and philosophies to succeed. Our next rocket ship is launching off to space right now, and you're just one click away from being on your first live stream with our team of pros. So make the transformation today. Go from amateur gambler to sports value analyst. We'll see you on the moon.
Sometimes curling just isn't as fun as it can be on the Nintendo Switch. With up to 4 players per console, you can enjoy curling with your friends and family anywhere, anytime. Let's play curling. Available now only on Nintendo Switch.
Colleen and Sandra. All right, guys, we are back. Thanks for everyone that's joining us on the Curling Zone YouTube page. I know there's probably some of you that are pulling double duty. If you're like me and have 2 monitors set up watching the men's final between Catlin Schneider rink and Brendan Bottcher. If you weren't aware, we do have the women's championship final. They're a little bit further on in the game between Team Homan and Team Jones, although they've got some super spare skips in the house. So if you are
I think just about everyone's aware. There's 1,500 people watching that one.
Yeah.
So we got a good end developing here. We got a couple of corner guards. We've got some rocks in the rocks to work on. It's not a guaranteed steal. Like, it's not a dangerous situation right now.
No.
For Schneider's got some things to work with. Looks like he's playing a blast, hit and roll or double here. So this is going to be moving. It's taking negative ice with an outturn.
Yeah.
Trying to just hit it and double out a couple of these reds, and even just push it behind the corner is not bad. It's not a bad scenario.
Yeah, and I was going to say, like, is it super important to kind of blast those out right now, or I mean, can you afford to just kind of like tap them and move it around a little bit?
Yeah,
dams, you know,
it's a good question. So you can afford to. I think what he was hoping for is he's looking ahead a little bit with another kind of, by putting that red rock over there. He's got a hit and roll on the one that's on the button, and then it's behind two guards. So he's just trying to make another corner guard out of that. And so, that's a nice shot there too, with a hit and roll to right here. And now I think you might contemplate some down weight. Not necessarily a tap back, but just like a really down weight, just hit what he can see.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
he's indicating he wants to hit the one that's buried, which is kind of a surprise to me. But what he's trying to do is hit the one that is half buried behind the yellow and roll onto the one that's on the tee line.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So I guess that opens up his corner guard for him. The shot does have some risk, has some great reward too. It's a little heavy, so they might be calling an audible here and trying to hit the top one now. Yeah, I think that's a lot more weight than they were expecting. I still think that's a decent result. If Bottcher noses this again, you still have the option of running back your yellow guard onto the two, or playing a hit and roll on the one on the center behind this corner guard mess. So no, you don't have the play. The play is not necessarily in the centers. You got everything out in the corners. This looks like a chance for a deuce. This end.
We'll see what first of Vice's rocks here from Mark Kennedy.
Yeah.
So a little bit of congestion there now on this behind this corner guard.
That's interesting that he's not considering the hit and roll behind 4-3 corner guds.
I mean, I would think so, especially with that stagger there, right?
Yeah, this isn't, again, this can still generate your deuce for you, but it's definitely not as, I mean, he's probably seen the numbers of Bottcher's success after getting a deuce in an early end.
Well, if you hit this center line side, can you possibly roll?
Yeah, I think that's what they called.
This one's just going to hit high side, so. And not ideal. I don't think you can afford to hit it on the high side. I mean, they still have a corner guard. But...
Yeah, it's still, there's not a tremendous amount of risk. Bottcher can't really get out of this end with a peel. So, like, there's not a tremendous, this is not a really, really risky end yet. Like, Bottcher doesn't really want to throw a guard. So he's just trying to put another rock in the rings, kind of in the way. Like, Schneider would love to see him throw a guard. He's not going to throw a guard on his shot rock. It's accessible with a thin double. It's accessible with if it's a halfway, it's accessible with a hit and roll. So they're thinking about trying to put a rock in a spot that chokes off one of the corners. They kind of have the other corner choked off. So just choke off this corner too. and then there's no place to hit and roll from the center.
Yep.
There's no, and if they hit and roll off of this rock or the rock that's on the left-hand side, they could actually still be third shot.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I just would have assumed that they would have just kind of peeled the corner on the left-hand side, as it's a little bit accessible for that hit and roll. But and we may have seen that in past years, but I mean,
I think if you peel that corner, you've got to play with your shooter going away across the rings. You got to play so you got to get the shooter going across the rings. If they come around the other corner, then you're running back. You're still not throwing a guard, right? So this just gives you a lot of options, and it gives them less options. They don't really have a hit and roll. They can't really go around either corner guard. Now you might see them try a hit and roll off of this one because they might be able.
yeah. See, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, I'm playing it this side, huh? Visually a bit scary, but for me at least, I always like going into these.
Yeah, it's just, again, it's how you see the brim at the other end too. It's easier to call for the third going this way.
Yeah. This one's coming up quite a bit, and they're just going to get to nose here.
Yeah, they're starting to run out of opportunities to get some offense going here. It looks like if they, I'm not sure about that shot. I might have tried the other one, the hit and roll on the other one, because you might have been able to get you might have been able to just tick the rock on that top button as you made the hit and roll. Again, you got to make them all.
Yep.
It's easy to stand up here from our perch and say, I would have tried this shot.
Yeah.
But the best shot is the one that you're going to make.
That's true. It's true at all levels. Yeah.
So Bottcher wants to just come and nose hit this again. Maybe a hair roll to the inside, but not much.
Yeah. So let's say
he doesn't want to roll behind the corner guard.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
So let's say he just makes the nose hit. Then at this point, you're looking, if you're Team Schneider, are you looking to make some sort of double and try to get a blank out of this somehow?
Yeah. There's if he makes a nose hit, it's not going to be a simple double.
No.
To keep your shooter. I think that blank is
gonna be a bit high side and is gonna.
That's not a bad result.
No.
Yeah, I don't think there's a way to get out of this end. I guess you could try this. You could take
hit and roll
run at this double here, the rock that Bottcher just threw, and come across, and then your rock is in front of his rock, and maybe you get out of it with a blank.
Yeah. I mean, the other option is, man, maybe hitting the one that's on the biting the button and rolling behind the two on the left-hand side from the thrower perspective.
Behind the two corner guards. Yeah.
There's room to roll there. Yeah.
There's definitely room to roll. You might get shot there. It looks like that's what he's playing with, it looks like he's playing just to control weight so he can roll it a bit lower and get farther away from that rock that he's rolling behind the red rock, and if he can get a little bit farther away from it, he's pretty happy.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's taken a nice control weight.
Taking off the jacket for the throw here.
Yeah, it's really getting into it.
Are you a big fan of having the jacket while you're holding the broom and then taking it off for throwing?
Yeah, skipping is a cold business. It can be very cold standing there skipping. So yeah.
I've gotten used to it. I just now recently started being able to keep on my jacket on the entire game while skipping. It's an accomplishment for me.
There you go. Just a warning, the older you get, the colder you get.
Yeah. Just a lot of no's on this shot.
Yeah, just not quite finding it. I think it'd be really interesting here to if you nose hit it, then you leave a pretty easy shot for one, right? Because you're going to leave a nice big crotch there. So what you don't want to do is nose hit. So they would really like to roll out of the way and force a draw. You know what I mean? Like if you nose hit this rock, there's a nice big pocket there and it's a pretty easy hit.
Yeah.
If you roll this away, but if you roll it to sit shot rock, there it's a little bit tougher of a hit for one. A draw against 3, down 2 in the fourth end is not a fun place to be.
Yeah, I mean, does it? Well, I guess you could roll it over towards the left side here and maybe kind of.
I think that's what he wanted to do. Roll it just almost Christmas tree underneath his own.
Yeah.
He'd also take that on the other side, but if you do it on the other, they were looking to see if it passed on the other side. They'd like to roll a little bit farther past it on the other side. So Christmas tree the opposite way.
Final rock for Brendan Bottcher here.
They're trying to make it curl.
Trying to curl
under.
And
and they got there.
I'll take a quick peek here, see how much they can roll.
There's an outside chance that he was taking a peek there to see if there's a way that he can come off the outside red and get rid of them both. But I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, so it looks like they agreed on where they're putting the broom here, so.
These rocks can definitely do magical things, but they cannot get rid of you cannot get rid of all 3 of these right now. There is a slight danger. There is a slight danger of kind of
squirting through.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell whether or not there's room for the squirt. I don't think there is, but probably in your head as you look at that broom.
Yeah.
It's pretty tough if you can't score through this, it is pretty tough to miss.
Yeah, I think as long as he makes contact with the one on the center line first, should be fine. Yep. Looks to be pretty good.
Yep.
Makes a hit, rolls, and makes a double just for fun. So Schneider gets on the board here, forced to take a single in the fourth end. So Bottcher will take hammer, 1 point lead going to the fifth end, which we'll have for you just after this break.
The reason we trust Western Sales with our business is the people. I'm sure that there's 100 years experience coming out of that shop. We trust them because we do a CMI on our combine and on our tractor. When our equipment comes out of Western Sales, it's going to be good, because if it's not, they send us another combine, they send us another tractor. And we're not naive to the fact that that probably costs them a lot of money. So we just know that the service that we're getting at Western Sales is above par to everybody else.
Stronger agronomics, better returns, greater peace of mind. From pre-seed to post-harvest, you can count on the Victory Canola program to keep you and your farm ahead of the curve. Grow with us at victorycanola.com.
Here's another look at that beautiful rock from Kyla. setting things up really nicely. They're close to the win with that one. Now in the last end of the game, Team Clybrink has a draw to the button for the win.
What are you doing? Hold on, the guys that didn't play, I just made a call. They made me way more cash than you guys ever will. If you want to destroy the sports books, come join the #1 sports investing community on the planet at inplaylive.com.
Or try to smoke the...
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
It would just have... All right, welcome back to our men's final here. We got some really interesting end going on in the ladies. This could be it. We got Bottcher with the up 1 with playing the 5th end. I'm sure if you ask Jerry, the stats on this would be through the roof for Bottcher win in the last 3 or 4 years.
And they were content to go around that center guard. Ended up leaving a bit short of the rings. Probably not what they wanted, so...
Now we're gonna have, looks like we're gonna have an end here. Bottcher's got hammer. He looks at get a little bit aggressive and maybe get a 2 here and seal up the win for sure. I would like to put this one, if I'm him, I would like to put this one right on the center line, right on the 200. Get some rocks in there. That's a great spot.
Yeah.
Just get some rocks in there. Encourage a freeze. Then you freeze. Like, I think this is what you want. You want them throwing these guards or these come arounds as much as possible.
Yeah. So we'll see what Ben Hebert has here. Just looking for outturn.
Yeah, just an outturn freeze right on the face if you can. Finish is pretty good here, so should be able to make it. I think you might see them come down and throw an in-turn freeze. Stick to the same turn. There's no right or wrong answer on the turn here. They just threw the in-turn.
Yeah.
I personally would probably play the end at this as well.
Yeah, well, because you kind of want on the other. You want on the other side, yeah.
Yeah.
This one's coming in nicely. You just gotta get a little bit more weight to get to it, but I think we're gonna be close enough. Ends up settling half in the top 12 there.
It's not bad. It's a good shot. It definitely forces this peel. If it was frozen to it, maybe they consider, but I think they probably were going to peel no matter what. Try to get rid of both of these guards. Maybe get the one, that first yellow one in the rings moving too.
Yeah. First up, probably a couple run back attempts from Regulant. Ooh. And that's not a great outcome.
It's yeah, you know, it could be. It's definitely not what they wanted, but it's not horrible right now.
Yeah.
It exposes the rock it exposes shot rock. So you kind of, because you know, Schneider's really thinking about stealing here. So you can't really make a play on second shot. So you gotta get in there. So, and there's no real, I mean, you could throw a guard on this, but they're gonna whack the double peel.
Yeah.
So coming in, putting a little pressure on a pick or a pick double. You still got 2 center guards. Still got a chance here.
This one's coming in. It's got a curl here. Should finish. Yeah, that moves pretty good at the end there.
That's a good shot. There's no real pick double. They're gonna take a run at it. So probably jams on the other red.
Yeah.
Might go over it. It might go a little and roll up. But you're probably gonna see it come off the yellow and be spinning and hit the red and roll up. And it might, depending upon how hard he throws it, the red might stay. He's throwing it hard.
Definitely throwing it hard.
There you go, dead jam.
Yeah.
Good result though. You're out of it. I think you just come back and put the rock in the same spot.
Yeah, getting a little crowded outside the rings. So
yeah. I guess I don't dislike the.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about this. I think they're looking at playing a little split here. I'm not sure about that. I think again, if you want to get a rock buried behind, you just threw a rock that was dead buried or close to dead. You know, you threw a rock that could get dead buried, so why not just dead bury it?
So, because there's no consideration for splitting, right? I guess because
I think that's what he's playing. I think that's what he's playing.
Huh.
I think he's trying to cross it with his shooter and just get inside.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like if it was a little bit higher in the rings, I don't know. I'm not sure the result here.
I'm just not a big fan of this grouping.
Yeah, and I think that's
what you're about to do. Mark Kennedy eats grouping for lunch.
Yeah. This one's kind of going a bit.
This is a good looking. It's gonna tick the top one.
Ticks the first one, and the weight's quiet enough that it will get a little bit deeper.
They got a little rough spin at the end there.
Yeah.
It looks like they can actually make a nice little normal weight hit and roll behind the guard.
Yeah.
And again, you know, it's not bad. They're not peeling guards.
Yeah, and you know, these hit and rolls haven't been quite routine this game. We've had quite a few shots, a little over curl, and you know, end up on the high side. So we'll see where this one ends up.
They're pounding it. Might just squirt out into the open. No, beautiful.
Now, are you ever tempted to try to poke it through the hole? And
I think what you're hoping for now is at some point being able to throw the outturn draw to the button.
Yeah.
So in a perfect world, right? You dead freeze to it, and then they come down and try to freeze to it as well. Maybe they probably will rip the guard, but you just want to try to figure out a way to make him not rip the guard if you can help it. So you don't want to get in there right now. You don't want to go top button because obviously they rip the guard right away. So if you can freeze to that red one, half open, maybe you'll encourage them to follow you down. And then they follow you down, and then you play the outturn, come around to the top button on your first. Now, this is exactly what Bottcher's thinking. So there's an outside chance that even if he makes this perfect freeze, they might rip the guard. They might not, though. I don't think that they'll play the outturn. I feel like I can say that confidently.
Yeah. Is this one gonna tick?
It's a good looking shot. It might just tick they're just getting unlucky and just ticking. It actually ends up in a pretty good spot.
Pretty good spot, yeah.
So there you go. He's got that. The problem with where that ended up is that it jacks up your outturn draw. So what I mean by that is if you play the outturn draw now, that red is going right onto it. So now you got to play the outturn draw to the back button to get it past that red. So the back full 4-foot. But this is what outside minus the tick, this is kind of what they were hoping for.
Yeah, I think so, right? Mission accomplished. Your Bottcher's not peeling the guard, right? So you have still some steal chances. It's just a little bit tougher to get there.
You have a chance to sit shot buried in the back button on skips first when you're trying to steal one. So, you got to execute, but you got to a point where you have the shot.
Yeah. A little bit more narrow in the air and more ways for Bottcher to get out of it, but the chance is still very much alive this end. It's still very much up for grabs on whoever can make the decisive shot at the end.
Yeah, so on this shot, they don't mind a smidge of a tap here either.
Yeah.
If you can come to the nose and just tap it and release that, that would be, they would
poke it out too far. We'll see where this is going. That's pretty good.
It's not bad. Well, now they might actually they might consider that yellow red.
That slash, yeah.
That slash, and especially if they're like, what's really interesting about it right now is that the yellow in the back of the rings is out counting the red in the top.
Oh, yeah.
So this is actually, you could play this to sit too. They're looking at running the guard in or just playing it with the shooter. The advantage of running the guard in is that the guard would stay there. Like if you run the guard in, that
then it stuffs it. Yeah. Yeah. Is that too greedy though?
It's a lot of greedy, but it's that when you look at the difficulty of shots right here, like you got to hit half a rock to make this shot, or you got to hit half a rock to make the guard. So it's really in your head, not much harder of a shot. It just has a bit more of, it comes with a bit more risk.
Yeah.
So they could also play it. You could also play this, and it looks like that's what they're doing. They're playing this with a nice little down weight.
Yeah. I think I like
that. The risk of that is that it goes so hard there, right? So this end, what we've seen, we haven't seen anything under curl here in this end. Everything is kind of over curled. Let's see what he's got.
First of
positive
skip
release
rocks here. What's this? This one's floating a bit, but should make
I
good
think it's
contact
going to be
here.
fine.
Yep.
Good result.
Good result.
And now they're sitting 2, and if you come down to the back one, you're not shot. So
yeah,
it's they're gonna just try to go top button here with this out turn, leaving possibly the same little slash.
Yep. Yeah, not great places for Bottcher to go here.
Well, Bottcher's thinking about the same thing I was talking about before, like where you kind of go back button-ish.
Yeah.
Just leave space for 2. Like if you just go back 4 foot and then he freezes.
He goes on top and you got nothing. Yeah.
Then you got no. If you go just half in the back 4 foot, so you're shot.
Okay.
Then he freezes on you, and you still have room to get in there for shot.
Oh. Yep,
It's
definitely.
it's a precise shot. They're also thinking about that same concept open, right? So like back 4 foot open, but sit shot, and let him either decide to hit and roll or some back 4 foot on the tee line, back 4 foot a little bit open. It just means it means that you're gonna have to take a little bit more ice. So there's a bit of a guess that comes into it, but it doesn't. It looks like based on that ice, they're trying to. They're not trying to
half
bury.
open. Yeah.
They're not trying to bury. Even full open, back 4 foot. Maybe a corner buried.
Yeah.
But the key to this whole shot, that I guess they've got the audible chance of going top 4 as well with this line. Because even if they're wide open with this line, wide open top biting the top 4 doesn't kill them either.
Yeah, I don't mind that either, right? You go top 4 and you leave yourself a little tap on the end here.
What they don't want to do is be completely buried back button, right? So
yeah, then.
So this is a team shot. You put them in there. You throw it out there and you let the team figure out where it's going to go.
Yeah. Out of hand. Sweeper's just kind of cleaning it. We'll see. Picking it up just a little bit. Line's not a problem for this one. Would like to...
No, they're by the guard by a good amount. Starting to really come in though.
Starting to finish here, and it's going to end up. Yep, just
a good shot.
Sliver buried there. Well, not even really bad. Pretty open.
Yeah, but that's exactly like if you walk down and you put the rock right there, that's a perfect spot, right? Like it's shot rock. You either have to deal with that or tap that outside your other yellow one. And if you tap your other yellow one to try to make shot, to try to get shot, you just leave Bottcher this easy little
tap
back to
2 or 3. Yeah.
So you kind of just have to get rid of this rock and then let him make the draw of the button again.
Yeah.
And maybe you get lucky and it picks or something, and maybe you win the measure and you get 2. Probably not. I mean, I think throws it to the team again, but it ends up being a decent force.
This one's getting a little tight to the guard here. Might jam on the back. Oh, no. Gets it out clean.
So we got the same shot, and we're never going to know who is second shot. Which is too bad. Somebody in the comments.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
That Bottcher sitting second shot.
From the overhead, it looks to be.
It's hard to tell where the camera is.
Yeah, that's true.
From the overhead, it looks like it's yellow. It looks like yellow sitting 2 right now, but I wouldn't bet money on it.
No.
But it certainly looks like this is a draw against 2. But yeah, it's probably going to be a moot point because he's going to stick it on the tee line.
Final rock for Brendan Bottcher, looking for a good piece of the forefoot. Let's see if you can avoid commentator's curse. Line's not a problem here. It's just weight only at this
Hanging out
point.
there, so it's hanging out in a way that might make it seem like it's a bit heavy, but it's coming in nicely.
Yeah, it's coming in nicely.
I really didn't curl like other ones did. It just might have been a release thing.
Yeah, Brendan puts it on the tee line, so they'll take the single here. They'll have a 3-1 lead, or Team Schneider, which will have the hammer in the 6th end, which we'll have for you just after this break.
I've been raised on the farm since day one, so I was born into it. My grandfather came in here in 1905. I want to continue the farm for him and generations to come. So
I think it's a privilege that we get to be here. It's just a wonderful way of life.
You know, what job is there that you can go to work with your dad and brother, with your kids by your side? Doesn't get much better than that.
Hey, so dude, I'm just building out my parlay for Sunday. I'm all over the Bucks, and then we got the Panthers, the Bills, and the 49ers, all locks, but it only pays plus 229, so I'm thinking I might need to beef up that number just a little bit. Hold on, the Rams are playing on Sunday Night Football? No chance they're losing.
Oh my god, dude, you said the same thing last week, and you keep losing. Don't be this clown betting on NFL parlays this season. The way the Sunday schedule is set up is that you make a parlay for the early games, you miss, and you start chasing in the afternoon games, and then the night game hits and you unload your bankroll trying to play catch up. If you're interested in making smarter decisions on the NFL this season, I'm putting on some free training right now where I give away my top 5 secrets on how to profit on live sports investing.
This is where the focus comes into play. Look at that.
Canada, say hello to your new champions.
Proudly pulling for this generation of Canadians and the next for over 40 years at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
Draw for 2. And we're back here. That was a fun end.
It was.
We got the 6th end here. Couple of corners. This is a repeat of 2 ends ago. A couple of corners up there, a couple of rocks in the center.
Yeah. Team Schneider with the opportunity to have 2 hammers to 1 here. So down 2, so definitely some chances here.
Yeah.
Bottcher's very good with the lead, but definitely some
They can get
some
2
chances.
deuces and a force, they win. That's all you have to think about, right? Get a deuce, force, deuce, and you win.
Yeah, just get a deuce and force against Brendan Bottcher, and then get another deuce. No problem.
Yeah. Routine. Just a routine 3 ends in a curling game against Brendan Bottcher. What could go wrong?
Yeah. So just hitting roll into underneath one of the corners here. Oh, that was just a draw. Okay.
Yeah, I think they're just playing a straight draw. Just leave some rocks. They have realized that the red rocks can be their friends in this end.
Yeah.
And they're leaving them in play.
This one's gonna overcurl here.
Yeah, they're never playing the out turn anyway, so.
Yeah.
It's a tough rock to peel. It's not impossible, but it's.
No. You're gonna peel the other one, and maybe just throw it. Maybe play this double here.
I think they're gonna take a run at this double.
Yeah.
So why not? It's it's like a thin quarter. Maybe just a quarter gets it.
Yeah.
More.
Quarter,
Maybe a third.
You think?
I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's a little bit grainy.
He takes an attempt.
You had to hit it right there.
Yeah.
That's where you had to hit it. Exactly there.
So what was a promising end?
It's still
promising. It's still early enough.
It's not.
It
looks,
it looks
very
scary
disheartening when the other team does that to you.
Yeah. Two corners and
when you
throwing.
don't notice that you left a quarter rock double when you came around a corner guard. Like, oh man, I know this guy who plays second for this Bottcher team, and he can hit.
Yeah.
You're just trying to keep these rocks in play now. A little tap back.
Yeah.
See if you can bunch some rocks back there.
Yeah, I think it's. I guess the one good break is the rock's still in play, so they can tap and still sit there with the guard. And does make contact and rolls open here.
It's not the other thing they've got going for you and them is it's not the easiest peeling. Like it's not necessarily a hard peel, but it's not the easiest peel.
Yeah.
And then the second thing they've got going for them is that Bottcher's going to try to keep this one in the rings. So, you can tap some things back and make a pretty good mess back there.
On devices rocks here for a shot from my smart Kennedy.
He's trying for just a nose hit. Wouldn't hate losing the back one on the way by.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking if they want to do this, but probably not too worried. But
yeah, they don't.
Just make it go away.
Yep.
Yeah,
trying just a little hit and roll behind this. What are you thinking?
I was gonna say there's no out turn. Yeah, that out turn side's completely dead, right? Like you can't.
You could. I mean, you could draw. You could draw to the back. You don't have to hit shot right now.
Yeah.
So you could draw to them because, like, even after this shot, they're not gonna hit. They're not gonna sit shot, right?
No.
They make this shot perfect. So you don't have to hit. You don't have to sit shot on Vice's first. It'd be good to be like second or third, and in a place that they can't hit it.
Thanks. Ooh.
That's not bad, but
no. You almost wish it didn't roll as far, right?
Yeah. The good news is that they're like, if they clip this back red as they make this, like if they make this red, so you're coming around this corner guard and you can freeze on theirs and be shot. Right? So you're okay with them kind of blasting here.
Yeah.
You still got a chance. That's one of the reasons why they're coming down to talk about it. How do we make sure that we keep some things in play and we don't just what they don't want have happen is have only one rock there.
Yeah.
So if they were to blast this and hit half a rock and it nuts on the yellow, and the yellow hits the red on the way by, and they all go, I think you would see Schneider go around the corner guard and freeze to the Bottcher red.
Yeah. So then to get away from that, are you ever going like back 4 or like back 8 on the other side, on the left hand side here?
Yeah, I think they're still probably going to hit this, but I think they're going to debate whether or not to throw, like how hard to throw it. So I think they're gonna think more about possibly a control weight hit.
Yeah.
It looks like it's just, again, they're still obviously hitting this. I think the key to this whole shot is to hold your shooter, to roll your shooter over a little bit.
Mark Kennedy's last rock. Went on it early. Just trying to hold it.
A little harder than, but it's gonna be. Yeah, so I think you might see them come around this corner.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Early tap and says go around the corner.
That was the danger, right? So you roll everything out and you lose that back one and your shooter.
Yeah, and I think I guess they were okay with it with that weight choice, or.
Yeah, I mean they did. They certainly would have had a conversation about it and thought, okay, well, if he makes it, then we follow him down and it's a shot as well, and we'll just make sure we get ourselves out of this. Shooter didn't. Shooter rolled.
This gotta be second though, right? Well, I guess it doesn't have to be second, but ideally.
No, it would be way better if that was second shot. There is a double on the two reds, so there is worth.
Yeah, the problem here, right? So if Brendan just draws on the other side of the rings, they're gonna have to make a triple, right? Basically.
Well, not exactly, because they have two shots, right? So draw the open side, and then they make a double, and now all of a sudden you gotta make it perfect, and now you bring in 3 into play. So it still does have some peril. If you throw a center guard, they're talking about throwing a center guard. If you throw a center guard, he comes around all of it. So now Kennedy suggested, well, what if we throw it really top 12 so that it makes our run back if he comes around all of it? Like if you throw a halfway guard, he comes around T-line, you can bury around that rock top 8.
Yeah.
It looks like that's what they're throwing. They're throwing this out turn, and they're hoping to make it tight. That is my guess right now.
They're
trying to make this guard. They're trying to make this guard as tight as possible. Unless he's playing. He's not playing the run back, is he?
No.
Nice tight guard.
Yep. I haven't seen too many guards.
Coming around your own isn't the worst thing in the world either, but
yeah, are they splitting this here?
They didn't go.
Just a little in between here.
Well,
Bottcher's sitting 1, 2, 3. Is there a hit and roll there to the wings?
so I think you still need to play. He made it a lot more thin, but I think you still need to play this thin shot.
Yeah.
You're not going to get rid of the top one, the one that Bottcher just threw. But you got to play it in such a way that you can get rid of the back one. I don't see another way to get a multiple score without trying this thin double.
Off the top one?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna lie, it's not pretty, but
yeah.
I think they're also talking about another way to possibly get a deuce is to play it like with just a little control weight and roll to there.
Yeah.
You're seeing maybe they're suggesting maybe if they throw it 1,000,000 miles an hour and hit it just off of nose, can they go off the back of that yellow one and actually get to second shot? So you're throwing it quite hard. You're hitting it just off nose. You might get the top one. You're certainly getting the back one.
Yeah.
And then you kind of roll in there. You roll in there for shot rock. Still keeps a nice end because if that top one is still going to leave you across the rings double for a few more. But of course, Bottcher gets to throw.
That's true. That's the difficulty here. Is there ever a universe where they're able to draw like maybe back 4 here?
Yeah, I think that shot was available to them on their last shot too.
Yeah.
They're not set up in such a way that it's easy to put a rock back there that isn't easy to take out because they're right on top of each other. So it would have to be like open a tiny bit and then Bottcher could just pick it and then you're back in here.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. You have to like partially open and you almost have to dare and hope for a miss, right?
Hope for a miss, right. And then if your strategy is hope for a miss, there might be a better shot out there.
Yeah. So that's the question. It's hope for a miss or this nuclear double?
I don't actually think this is a nuclear double. So he's shown that he can throw it pretty hard. It's an out turn down this. There are some options here. There are some options to come off the back one, to come off the. There are ways to make this, and there are ways to, like again, if this hangs out, they can pound it and catch and make the straight double. If it's coming up a little bit on them, they can come off the back of their own. So they've got some options here on this shot.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not sure whether or not the top one is going to go. The rocks are pretty lively here, so there's a chance that it goes.
Yeah, there's some room there.
Could end up sitting 2 buried after this.
First is skip rocks for Team Schneider here.
Got a curl.
It's got a curl.
Got a curl.
Gonna catch it. No.
That was not far off. But
no, yeah.
That was far enough off to not make it.
Just a hair thin.
That was a great try.
Oh yeah. So
they definitely took an aggressive amount of ice for that weight.
So I think first Bottcher was looking at the tap here.
Yeah, I think he's trying to think about a way of shrinking the rings here. What can you do to make the rings a little smaller? And then what you just can't do is put this in a spot that you leave a triple.
Yeah.
So right now it's a half a rock double. So as long as you're not somewhere in a situation where you're putting the rock in a place where they can hit that. They can make the double. He's good.
Yeah, Team Schneider really wishing they were sitting second right now.
Yeah, if they were sitting second, it's a totally different end, right? Like that.
Yeah.
That's just a couple more brushes. The boys went hard.
They did.
The ice is a little different out there. They got one player. They got one team beside them. It's probably a little colder out there. It's just the rocks might not slide as much. You're also a little tired. This is their third game today.
This one's coming in.
That's fine.
Yeah.
He might take a run at this.
So I don't get a chance to line up triples too often, but I know there's triangles involved, right?
Yeah. So the question you ask yourself here is, if we are down one without playing Bottcher with 2 ends to go, can we win this game? The answer is yes, you can. Like, you can steal. Like, they're not machines, so you can steal. So this triple is, it's probably, the percentages don't suggest that you play it.
Yeah.
The percentages say you take your one here and you go for.
Take your go.
Yeah, you take your one, and then
you go steal,
maybe you force, and then maybe you
that's
threes are in play as well. 2's in play, and then an extra end. Like, the numbers just work out better.
There's more possibilities.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'm not awesome at math, but the numbers are way better if you're 3-2 than because I think you're shaking hands if you don't make the triple.
No. Just keep on line. Should get a hit, just a little inside roll, and it's made. So Schneider forced to take a single there after a really fun end. A lot of interesting angles and whatnot. So Bottcher will have hammer with the 1-point lead going in 7th, which we'll have for you after this break.
We got a lot of fun ends. We haven't had we've only had one boring end all weekend.
Okay.
Seriously, like that one end a couple of ends ago. That was.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
I've been raised on the farm since day one, so I was born into it. My grandfather came in here in 1905. I want to continue the farm for him and generations to come. So
I think it's a privilege that we get to be here. It's just a wonderful way of life.
You know, what job is there that you can go to work with your dad and brother, with your kids by your side? Doesn't get much better than that.
Center guard that Chelsea threw.
All right, we are back. 7th end of the men's championship final for the Saville Shootout, brought to you by Curling Stadium. My name's Marco, commentary here with Matt Hames. It's been a good game so far.
It's a good game. It's gonna be. It's definitely gonna be. Bottcher really trying to blank, or even take a couple, but really look at a blank.
Yeah. So, some rocks in play. And we'll start seeing some peels and some guards. Unless there's some sort of weird break here. Ends up catching their one on the side of the house and rolling to a corner guard. So it's a little bit of a decision.
That much.
No.
You're still throwing a center guard. I think you're throwing anywhere from a 1 to a 2 here to try to just get as much separation.
Yeah.
So you almost want him to tease a little, like go for the double on the 2 guards, and maybe you get a break. You're in let's hope for a break mode here.
Yeah. Guard is nicely made. Thanks for all the people watching us on the Curling Zone YouTube feed. I know there's quite a few watching us, and then also the women's championship final, which is up. They're in the 8th end, and that's been a really back and forth game. I've definitely been watching that off to the side. So.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have them both on and maybe muting both of us, or.
Yeah, hope you guys are listening to us and not the other guys.
Yeah.
I don't even know who's on the other commentary. I think maybe.
Oh, there's a nice double peel that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think what you're thinking, what you're looking at here is, again, a scenario of who's going to go first or do it first. You're going to throw center guard, they peel, you throw a center guard. So eventually, eventually you're going to start to think about coming around that mess.
Yeah, just going back 4 or something.
Yeah, like
probably waiting to skip first.
You might not get a chance. Like if you, Bottcher might go on Mark's last. If you throw 2 guards with your 3rd here, I think they peel this for sure.
Yeah.
And then, so you peel on Kennedy's first. And then depending upon where you throw the next one, they might go around.
This one's getting pretty tight.
This is changing things a little bit. Now they might take a run at the yellow. Yeah.
Yeah. Just don't even care if you leave the shooter or not, right?
No.
You actually probably prefer it out, yeah.
We're gonna have a conversation about it because one of the conversations is we can get out of this end and go to the next end, and is that really is that what we want? And I think sometimes, yeah, why not?
Yeah, I mean, if you're in good shape here.
He keeps indicating that he sort of wanted the shooter to stay, but I know based on this ice, I'm not sure whether or not. Maybe just like have the shooter stay as kind of a corner guard. Probably makes it.
Yeah.
Just off nose. Get both yellows moving. Just something like that.
Let's make both.
Oh.
And
Well, that's it.
a little bit of I think a little bit of a laugh back there.
Yeah. So now you're in force.
Yeah, just
You're in
split
into one
the
territory.
Which is you don't mind this if you're Team Schneider.
No, it's not the worst scenario here.
Yeah. Well, you know, and after how tight their guard came on their last shot, you know, you're kind of staring at a blink in the face here, but with this result, forces back on the table.
Yeah. I wonder if you'll see Bottcher turn a little bit more aggressive.
Do you think? I mean, I've got to think they're happy, you know. Well.
Oh, you got to stay here. That's a good shot.
Yep. Maximum separation.
Yeah, I wonder whether or not they consider just playing a freeze here. It's like they're considering it.
Yeah.
Well, you freeze here, right? If you freeze in your shot and they blast, then you freeze behind the corner, and now all of a sudden you've brought a deuce into play.
Yeah.
So like if you can just get this in front of this rock, if you can just get it in such a way that it's shot and in front, like it doesn't have to be perfectly frozen. It can be just half frozen even. Well, half frozen, then they just nose it. So you want to be like 3/4 frozen so that they have to lose the shooter to get rid of it.
One's
Looking
coming
okay.
down nicely, yeah. Maybe a bit of an overcurl, but well, no.
Wasn't dead on it is perfect too. Oh,
ooh,
probably not how they were.
No,
our feed's a little jumpy, so it looked like it was fine until it just stopped.
Yeah, it's hard to tell how hard they're going sweeping and you know and things like that. Or maybe able to pick up a few different things from the feed, but a little bit tough time. I know the cameras have been working overtime this weekend covering this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, they've been doing a great job. No complaint.
No, it's fantastic. Yeah.
I'm just saying that it looked like it was good to me until it just.
That's what I thought too. Yeah.
So
maybe it picked. That's what we'll say. It picked. Or I'll watch it on the YouTube feed later.
So now I guess the question is, where do you go to try to put a little bit more pressure? You don't want to go top of the rings here, definitely. Like you don't want to give them a chance. You don't want to give Bottcher a chance to hit and roll 10 at either one of these corners. So you want to be T-line. If you go a little bit behind the T-line, maybe Bottcher freezes, but you can blast it out and then it's a draw for one.
Yeah, you kind of
just don't want to. The worst case scenario here is a guard or a rock that's top ring. So T-line or better is probably good for you.
First, the skips rocks here. let's see where this ends up here. Neither center line, so we get on that. We'll see if Mark offers to sweep at all, or just we'll let it come. Back T. Ends up settling.
Yeah,
four,
that's a good
button.
spot.
That's a good spot.
It's fine. Like, Bottcher's going to play freeze on it, and these guys can throw it hard enough that it's pretty tough to make a freeze with these rocks on this ice that is, quarter rock, and it's going to get out of there in a hurry. So he's just going to hit it. Like, there's almost no way that you can make this freeze and not have the rock out of the rings.
Yeah, very tough on a single stone here.
Yeah. So just nose hit it with some board weight. Make go away. Go to the net. Go to the last end up too.
Oh, we finally hung the score from last end back there. Good job, boys.
Yeah.
Oh, they're just hitting it, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, just a nice control weight.
Yeah.
Hit and roll a tiny bit. I think the ring's a bit better. We're gonna hit and roll behind the corner, or I don't know. Sometimes I always like to try to change the shot for them.
Yeah.
Roll to the other side if you can, or you roll Barry, but if you roll Barry, then you're not. It's filleted is all they need to do to draw.
Yeah,
So-
just somewhere where it's a question whether to hit or draw.
Yeah, I think you'll see them draw almost no matter what.
Yeah. Probably, with that front end, sure.
Yeah. The skip I used to play with once said, if you can't draw the button as a skip, then you shouldn't be skip.
I've heard that. Sometimes said to me.
Sometimes after a miss.
Sometimes after a miss, go take a shot of fireball.
Yeah, exactly. Just going for just again. He's looking like he's just gonna hit and roll out, which is fine.
It's
just make
fine.
it go away. You could try to get really precise there and try really hard to hit and roll, but they're just gonna talk about which turn. Taking a lot of ice.
Switching to the other side, huh?
Yeah, just maybe a conversation about something they saw, something they noticed. Maybe they saw something earlier, just in it getting a little frostier on the side or a little different on the side that the ladies are playing on. Last draw in the 7th end.
Just looking for a piece of the 8-foot. Sweeper's on it. Backing off a little bit, but keeping it clean now. Make sure no picks.
All right.
Get a piece of the button. So Brandon Bottcher forced to take one in the 7th end. Team Schneider will be down 2 with Hammer in the last end, or in the 8th end. That we'll have for you after this break.
Do you ever miss your parlays by just one pick? How about losing your over-unders or your spreads by only a point? Well, if you're ready to ditch the gambling and go legit, it's time to join In Play Live. We're the world's #1 live sports investing platform, all built around our live video streaming. So you can wager in real time with our 7-figure professionals and take what they're taking when they're taking it. Now, the platform also includes our masterclass suite of videos that include both the strategies and philosophies to succeed. Our next rocket ship is launching off to space right now, and you're just one click away from being on your first live stream with our team of pros. So make the transformation today. Go from amateur gambler to sports value analyst. We'll see you on the moon.
This is where the focus comes into play. Look at that. Canada, say hello to your new champions.
Proudly pulling for this generation of Canadians and the next for over 40 years at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts.
All right, we're back here for the 8th end. Big final here. The 8th end. Schneider with hammer, down 2. The ends have gone normally where they Bottcher throws a 1 top 4. We throw a corner guard, and Bottcher goes right on top of it. But now he's switching things up a little bit.
Yeah. He tapped a couple of different places here.
It looks like he's
going opposite the corner.
Out turn to the other side.
Yeah.
He's splitting the rings. So, I mean, what you don't want to do, one theory here is what you don't want to do is throw the rock into the top, throw it on top of your own and end up staggering the guards and giving them something to come around.
Yeah.
I think you'll still see
With that one where it ended up, do they ever guard that one on the wings here?
They might. I think they go to the button. Just freeze.
Just freeze? They not worried that's a little bit early to go into the rings here? I don't know. Like, I feel like you want guards, but... This one's coming down. Might over curl just a hair, but pretty good. Bumping it right back on the lid. Yeah, this was my concern here, right? If you're tapping it, then they're ripping it out, and
yeah, I think the idea here though is, sorry, I just have to go for 1 second. I think the idea here, right, is that they're trying to get them to get rid of that rock. So if they blast this out and they get rid of that back red, then there would still be a guard, but there wouldn't be as many reds.
Yeah.
Right. So they're playing this again. They're playing this. They're actually probably playing it onto the other red. they're playing it onto the yellow. I mean, now you decide, like, do you just put that corner guard back in the same place?
Yeah.
Because what you're trying to do is you're just trying to cut down on the amount of rocks. Like, you're just trying to waste a couple of rocks and not give them an easy double. So
sure,
there's not a lot of good places to put this yellow rock where it can't be doubled out. Right? Like, if you come in the rings, then that's Bottcher's loving.
Oh, yeah.
They just start smashing. And this is, you have to play this with the clockwise turn, the in turn, because you don't want to run the yellow into the rings. You want your red to go into the rings. So it's really tough to make a thin double here, but they might take a run at it. Like, they wouldn't mind going into the yellow.
Yeah.
But
I wonder if it's, yeah, that's true. And maybe if earlier they could have taken a chance to run the yellow back into it and have time to clean it up, but on Vice's rocks, content to go ahead and just do.
So this is at the high levels of the game. This is the chess part. Like, who's going to make the first move? Like, who's going to get rid of their pawn first? Like, who's going to decide? When do you decide to go? Like, this is thirds last. No, this is thirds first. This is thirds first.
Okay.
When do you, like, you're going to throw a corner guard here. Mark's going to peel on thirds last. Then what do? Do you try to come in the rings? Like, do you freeze on the other one? Do you dead freeze on your own on the outside so that you set it up so that it dead jams? Like, do you just half freeze on your own? This is the chances. You could also come around all of that and go back 12.
Yeah.
Because what you wanted to do is waste a couple of shots here and then decide. So now on thirds last, do you throw another corner guard, or do you make a run at something else?
Last rock for Mark Kennedy here. Yes. Peeling it off. Rolls across the top of everything.
Oh. I don't.
Freezing to the side.
Oh, yeah. The first call there was to hit the top yellow and roll over, and I don't love that. I will tell you. I think you're at the point right now where red rocks are your friends, not your enemies. So then they thought about freezing. I still think I think the two shots that I like the most are freeze on your own yellow in such a way that if you hit, like, just off the nose on your own yellow, so if they hit it, it dead jams on the red. You could even freeze half on it so that it came onto the red and then went over to the other red. As long as you're on the overhead left side of that top yellow, it's going to run into the red, and it might run into both reds. Or you come around the whole thing. If you come around the whole thing and you sit back 12 foot, again, if they then hit the yellow red and miss your back one, but get rid of everything, then you hit to sit two and you've got a chance, right?
Yeah, I think they're also looking just hitting that outside one and rolling. You roll back four.
Right. Yeah, I think they're going to hit something, and I would just say that I think those red rocks are their friends still. On thirds last, Bottcher is dying to just come down and blast everything.
Yeah.
And then when you start hitting things, it seems to me like you're making it a little bit easier for him. You could even corner freeze on their red one in a way that's going to be almost impossible to get both of yours out. I just think hitting here is you're just running a risk of bunching your rocks.
Yeah.
It's just a lot easier to bunch of rocks playing this hit than if you play a freeze to the outside red or come around this mess. But bunch away they're going to. or they're not going. Like again, you can make this and end up splitting the ring. So it's pretty precise.
Last of Vices Rocks here. Now it's sweeping to get to curl a little bit. It's making contact and goes through the hole, losing everything.
So that
that was the danger of that shot.
Yeah, I mean that shot had that shot was a really, really precise shot.
Yeah.
The freeze on the other one was not as precise. Like there's a bunch of places you could have come that end up being okay. Like that one, you had to hit it pretty much exactly right. So, at this level, you need to make precise shots, but at a certain point, you also decide, do we need to make this precise a shot? Like, is it the risk of that kind of precision necessary at this point in the end? And on thirds last, I would say it's not. I think you could have frozen, you could have come around, come around wide open or 3/4 open in the back.
Oh yeah.
Bottcher's either smashing the top ones or smashing you out, and you're still in the exact same situation. But that shot there had that peril. So it had that risk associated with it. Whereas a draw had very much less negative risk. But again, at this level, you make shots and you win curling games, and
yep.
You don't execute, and something like that happens, and you think, okay, it's not the wrong shot. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's a much more precise shot, and the question you always ask yourself is, do we need that kind of a precision shot on thirds last when we absolutely have to get 2?
So now we'll see just freezing for your life.
Now they're playing a freeze for your life, and we already, like we talked about this, it's almost impossible to put this in a spot that you can't blast it out.
Yeah.
And you'll say that again, so if they play this on thirds last, Bottcher blasts it out, but the difference is you then still have those 2 rocks, and so you could make the wide come around, and still sit third shot and put some pressure on Bottcher's last.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's almost no pressure on Bottcher's last. This is just, you make this shot and you're good to go. Again, I'm not sitting here saying that was the wrong shot. Just, I want to be clear. I'm saying that was a very precise shot that came with risk.
Yeah, and we kind of talked about it, right? It's just whoever's going to flinch and make, first big move, and they took a shot there. It just didn't work out for them.
Yep.
See if this one's maybe a hair up.
Yeah. Maybe just go back around it and go
just
back 12.
Yeah, I have to go wrap around it now.
There you go.
Yep.
You put some. It's actually a better shot than the freeze, because the freeze is almost a no-brainer, and this is also a no-brainer. Just a bit. There's a bit more involved in it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a decision, right?
you got a toddler's amount of space.
Yeah.
Whereas, if you freeze perfect, he just puts the broom down right on the rock. It's almost anywhere. Now there's a little bit more precision to this, but not much.
No.
I suspect this is going. And you know what? It looks like the men's game is going to be over before the ladies' game. And in fairness, they went into an extra end, but still.
Yeah, but both good finals here.
Great finals.
Last rock for Brendan Bottcher, looking for the short run back for the championship. It's going to be perfect. Brendan Bottcher runs Team Schneider out of rocks there. And we'll win the Saville Shootout here. Pretty good game.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you at the next Bonspiel.
Yep.
All right. Take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, Bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.